Hello, everyone. This is Wilson Alvarez with MiamiBusiness.com, and it is my pleasure to be here at the Community Newspaper Studios. Thank you, Grant Miller and Michael Miller. I have the pleasure of being today with Mr. Henry Vasquez. He's an optometrist, and it's great to have you here today.
It's great to be here, so thank you for having me.
Awesome. Tell me a little bit about you. Who is Henry Vasquez?
Henry Vasquez is an optometrist in Miami-Dade, Florida. I was born and raised in Miami. I went to high school at Monsignor Edward Pace, and from there I went to University of Florida for my undergrad, where I studied human nutrition.
Human nutrition. You're an optometrist.
Yes.
So tell me how that transition took place. I'm just curious.
Well, honestly, that was my backup plan in case I didn't get into optometry school, because optometry school is a 4-year program at a university that is separate from the undergrad bachelor's program. So the undergrad bachelor's program I chose was human nutrition, because I always liked how nutrition plays a factor in your health. So I did that. And luckily, I did get into optometry school, so I have that background of nutrition. But then I went to optometry school at Nova, Southeastern University, and that's where after that I started practicing.
Awesome. We have lots of friends at Nova Southeastern University.
It's a great school.
So you went to Pace, so you grew up in Miami?
Yes.
Born and raised in Miami?
Born and raised, yes, sir.
Mercy Hospital, I take it?
I think it was Hialeah Hospital.
Hialeah Hospital. Good. So what made you get into optometry?
Well, ever since I was young, I always wanted to do something in the health field, and I just not sure where. When I was in undergrad at University of Florida is where I kind of joined some of the medical clubs, and they would take you to different specialties in the hospitals, like radiology, emergency room, pediatrics, and then it was through there that I found and discovered optometry, which at the time I didn't even know was a subset of specialty that you can do. And then that's why I found a local optometrist in town, and he kind of taught me the ins and outs and became kind of like my mentor. And from there I grew to love it.
Yeah. Is there any specific time frame, age-wise, where your vision just starts to diminish?
It's
Probably
different for everybody.
Yeah.
But one thing that's pretty common is the loss of near vision that comes with getting younger. And that usually hits around 40, and a lot of people will start noticing they have to push their hand out a little bit to see things up close.
I'll tell you, I want to share a very funny story. So I was with my high school friend of mine, and he had these cool little funky glasses on. I didn't need glasses, so I thought.
Right.
And I told him, hey, let me see your glasses. And I'll never forget. I was like reading my emails at the time.
Yeah.
And I put his glasses on, and my phone came to life. It was like
high definition.
Oh my God, I had no idea that I needed glasses. And it was crazy. Like I bought glasses the next day. Like that type of thing, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, and you don't notice it because you start doing this and, and your arm starts getting longer, and then you just don't realize it, you know? So yeah, I can appreciate your field in regards to that.
Yeah, we get patients at least twice a day with that exact same issue. They come in saying, I don't get it. I used to see fine yesterday, and now I can't. I'm pushing my arm. My arm's not long enough anymore.
Arm's not long.
And it's super common. That's why every pharmacy you go to, you'll see a rack of reading glasses on there, because it's a very common thing.
Yeah, I have. So of course, I purchased a nice pair, and then I lost it. I bought a nice pair again, and I lost it, and then I said, you know what? Let me just get readers. So I use readers all the time. I don't know. Are they inferior to real, like the $10 CVS glasses?
Right.
Are they inferior to like the real deal, or?
Well, what you get when you get those is just magnifiers. They just make things bigger, so they're not really prescribed for a specific person. So the center of the lens may not be where it should be. The quality of the lens is not that great. It usually doesn't have like anti-glare or anti-blue light filters in it. So it'll get you by, but it's not something I like to recommend for long-term use, which is most people these days are on computers or a tablet or screen of some kind. So if it's going to be all day, every day, then you probably want something made for you.
Yeah. No, that's interesting. So I'm going to have to come visit you.
To get happy to have you.
My custom. Yes, absolutely. So what is the difference between an optometrist and an ophthalmologist?
Okay. That's a very common question because it's an easy thing to mix up. The ophthalmologist is a medical doctor who will go to medical school, whether it be an MD program or a DO program, and they'll get a medical degree in general medicine. And then they'll do residency in a specific part of the eye, whether it be for cataracts, whether it be for glaucoma or for retina, and then they'll specialize in that generally. The optometrist goes to optometry school and spends those 4 years focused on kind of like a broad health of the eye, does a lot of glasses, does the contacts, kind of general health checks. They can treat glaucoma, they can treat a lot of other diseases. And usually I like to compare it to your primary physician versus a specialty.
Exactly.
So you go to your primary physician every year, and if that doctor sees any issues with like your heart, you're going to a cardiologist.
Right.
If there's an issue with your lungs, you're going to a pulmonologist, and then that's kind of the same thing with us.
Very interesting. Very interesting. So you refer, if needed, you refer them to the ophthalmologist.
Correct. If you have a cataract or if you have a retina issue or something that I can't handle, then I happily send you to a lot of the very good ophthalmologists we have here in town.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So, so why should I get an eye exam if I feel that I don't need an eye exam? So let's go back to my story. I didn't even think I needed glasses. Right. I would have never, ever thought of going to an optometrist to check my eyes because I thought I was fine.
Yep. We get that a lot. The reason is, and I like to say that 2020 isn't everything. And that's where things start, because you'll go to when you're a kid, you go to the pediatrician, they'll do the eye test. At school, they'll do screenings. And it's just that, it's a screening. So you don't really get deep dive into the health of the eye. Is there any issues going on with the health of the eye? There's lots of conditions that you won't feel anything. We call them silent killers, like glaucoma, for example.
Right.
You can have elevated eye pressure and it can cause problems and you won't even know until it's too late. So the health check of the eye is important, but a lot of times we can discover other systemic issues you might have. Sometimes I'll find somebody who has diabetes undiagnosed just by checking the eyes. Or sometimes one eye is off and you don't know it because you always have both eyes open. So we have to check everything. We check sometimes the alignment of the eyes. There's a lot of things that we check that you may not realize just by, your run-of-the-mill daily routine.
Right. Well, how interesting. That's crazy. That's interesting. So I have an off-the-wall question for you.
Okay.
2020 is perfect vision, or I guess a normal vision?
2020 is nothing but a fraction. It's a ratio of the distance you are from something you're looking at and the size of what you're looking at. So all that means that if you're 20/20, that one particular eye can see a certain size letter at 20 feet, and you don't need glasses to achieve that. That's what the 20. That's where the 20 comes from.
Okay.
So 20 feet, you can see that size target without any help with glasses. So that's what that means.
So what happens if I want to get 20/10 glasses?
You may not be able to. 20/20 is what's considered the average normal vision, whether or not you're corrected with glasses to get. Some people can achieve better or more sharp acuity is what we call it than 20/20. Like 20/15 is a little smaller target at that same 20 feet. Okay. 20/10 is an even smaller target at that same 20 feet.
Is there an advantage to having a 20/10,
You'll see a little sharper. In my 18 years of experience, I've had 2 patients hit 2010. And they were both baseball players. So maybe there's a correlation to that. Yeah. But 2015 is pretty achievable. 2010 is very hard.
But okay, so I'm talking with glassware, of course. Like if I was to get any prescription, right? Can I get 20/10 glasses?
It's possible. It depends on what capacity your eyes have to achieve that. Some can, some can't. It's like saying, can you jump higher? There's only people have, a certain muscle structure and they can only jump certain height because of their physiology. So it's all about physiology. So not everybody can achieve 20/10 or even 20/20. Some people can't get 20/20 for other reasons.
All right. So let's talk. I'm in the technology sector. So let's talk a little bit about technology and
sure.
And not necessarily technology, but technology wise, where are we? Where's the ophthalmologist field heading? Like what's in the future for your industry?
The future is an open field. It can be anything. But right now, a lot of new stuff that's coming out that's really achievable currently, which is cutting edge stuff. A lot of times you hear about blue light filter. blue light from screens. Blue light's bad for you, and blue light's been around. Blue light filters have been
Right.
around for a while in glasses, which is great. But they just came out with new contacts that have blue light filters built into the contact, which is great for patients who don't like glasses and they prefer contacts, but they're on screens all day.
Right.
So what do you do there? So for that patient, this contact will be perfect because it has blue light filter and at a higher level than any glasses, because they can get away with it. Because if you do it too much in glasses, the tint of the lens will look yellow, and you don't want that.
Oh, right.
But the contact, you can't tell because it's on your eyes. So they can raise the number of filtration, and it helps with the blue light filtration process, which gives you numerous benefits there. That's one part for contacts. That's kind of the industry is going that way, which is great, I think. And as far as glasses go, there's a special lens out there called NeuroLens, which is pretty new, and not all offices are offering it, but it helps with alignment issues. Like we said before, you're in this field, you got cameras everywhere. Your eyes are like cameras.
Yeah.
You have two. They have to look at the same thing at the same time. Otherwise, you're going to see blurry. So the brain's job is to line them up, but not everybody lines them up as efficiently as they should. And when that happens, you can have a lot of symptoms like headaches, neck pain, tired eyes, dizziness, light sensitivity, things you wouldn't think is connected with that. But these lenses will help because they introduce something in the lens called prism, which changes the direction of light. So when you look through them, your eyes are lined up even more comfortably and more efficiently, so you can see better and reduce a lot of those symptoms, which goes back to what you said earlier about why should I get an eye exam? I see fine. You may see fine, but if you're getting headaches and neck pain and some of these other things,
it may attribute it to
it may be attributed to something else that you don't realize or even think to connect.
Nice. What about LASIK? So I think I understand the concept, but why don't you tell us, for our listening audience, what is LASIK? Is it recommended? And is it the right thing to do?
LASIK is a surgical procedure. We call it a refractive procedure, and the goal is to eliminate your glasses. It's a very quick, safe procedure that is recommended if you're the right patient, because it's not the right choice for every patient. And basically what they do is they'll use a laser to reshape the cornea, which is the front part of your eye, to give you the correct prescription you need to achieve that 20/20 or even better vision without the need of glasses. I myself did LASIK.
Okay.
17, 18 years ago. And you're probably going to ask,
why are you wearing glasses?
Why am I wearing glasses? Because I'm old. And just like you were saying, I did it when I was 26 years old. Okay. I was nearsighted. I couldn't see far very well. I wore glasses and contacts. So I did the surgery. Came out perfect. I saw great. And I still see great at a distance. Once I hit 40, the near vision started to go little by little. I'd have to start pushing things out. And now I wear glasses to help me see up close. But for far, I'm still good. So in my case, LASIK has worked well and has held its purpose, which was to give me good distance vision.
Distance. So it's not for near?
It can be for near, but then it depends. At the time I did the surgery, I had no near problems. So it wasn't something I had to address.
Would you consider it? Would you consider doing it now?
If I wanted to do it now, the only real option with LASIK would be something we call monovision, where they correct one eye to see near and they leave the other eye to see far. So in my case, I could do it just doing one eye for near, but I kind of like my glasses, so I'm going to hold off for now. But it's an option to do.
To me, that seems disbalanced. I don't know. One near, one far.
And like I said, it doesn't work for everybody. So LASIK isn't a good option for everybody. We'd have to bring you in and kind of simulate what it would feel like to have that monovision and to see if something you can adapt to, because not everybody can. And if it's something you can adapt to in the office, then we sometimes give you a contact to kind of test it out and see and test it out in the real world and drive and all that. And then if everything works out with that, then LASIK would be a good option for you.
Right.
But there's other surgeries out there too now that's also available. That's not LASIK, and it's something to consider as well. And we would go over all those options, at the exam. So
tell me, how do we get in contact with you if we wanted to hear more of you, if we wanted to make an appointment? Well, there's a couple ways. We have a website. It's SuarezOptical.com. It's a family-run business started by my wife's grandfather 55 years ago, 1971. So over 50 years ago, he started the practice. And so you can go to SuarezOptical.com, or you can call us at 305-265-7676. Well, I want to thank you for being here, and I want to thank our listening audience for tuning in. We will be back very soon, as always, bringing you positive business people from our community. Thank you very much for being here today. I appreciate it. Thank you for having me.